Before we get this video started, I just want to tell everyone that I now have a channel membership, and if you're interested in joining that, make sure you do it right now. I'll leave a link in the description on how you can join. My channel membership starts at only $1.99, which is less than the price of a pack of water. You joining my channel membership is actually very important to me. It helps me out financially so I can make more videos like these. And it helps you out because you get interesting perks. For example, you'll get shout outs in videos, and you'll get access to my videos before everyone else does. There's also more perks: members only live streams, custom emojis. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you join it right now. Like I said, it starts at only $1.99. So for less than $2 a day, you can help somebody like me and help someone like you. But anyway, let's get into the video. So you have a very simple question. Can you get waves without a durag? And I have a very simple answer. Yes. But now you have a new question. How do I do it? So in this video, that's the question I'll be answering. How to get waves without a durag. But before we get that question, before we get that question answered, I need you to go smack that like button right across the face. I heard the like button was talking trash, so I need you to show it who's boss. You just gonna let it disrespect you like that? No, I didn't think so. So go smack that like button. But anyway, let's get into this video. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? It's your host with the most entertaining people like you, from coast to coast, Wave Man Mike. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to get waves without a durag. So I'm not exactly sure why you don't have a durag, or maybe you do have a durag, but you just don't want to use one. But I do need to give you a little disclaimer. Getting waves without a durag is actually quite difficult. Well, it's not that difficult, but it's much more difficult than wearing a durag. Because if it was just as easy as getting waves without a durag, everyone would be doing it, but it's not. Also, when you get waves without a durag, your waves are probably not gonna be the best. You see the way that my hair looks right now? How it's all frizzy and there's hair sticking up? Yeah, your hair is probably gonna look like this. You're still gonna have waves, but they're just not gonna be the best that they could be. But anyway, let me list the materials that you're gonna need for getting waves without a durag. First up, you're gonna need a brush. A brush is the single most important material when getting waves. You're absolutely gonna need this one. The whole process of getting waves actually comes from brushing your hair. Things like products and durags are really just to assist that process. If you do need a brush, then make sure you go to www.smoothstyles.com and get you one right now. And when you're going to buy that brush, don't worry, I got you covered. You can use my discount code and you'll get anywhere from 20 to 30% off your entire purchase. So make sure you go buy one of those brushes. Next up, you're gonna need some products. The first type of product that I'm gonna recommend you get is a moisturizer. This will make sure that your hair does not look or feel super dry. Think of moisturizer for your hair as the equivalent of lotion for your skin. You wouldn't walk around without putting lotion on your skin, right? Because it's super dry, it just feels awful. So why would you go without putting moisturizer on your hair? Treat it the same way. Next, you're gonna need pomade. So if you plan on getting waves without a durag, then pomade is just gonna be that more essential. Not only is it gonna have its normal function, but it's also gonna kind of work as a substitute for the durag. So a durag usually is holding your hair down. But since you don't plan on using a durag, you're gonna need something else to hold your hair down. And that is where the pomade takes on its new role. See, the pomade originally is just there to basically assist you in your wave making process. And it was always really to hold your hair down. But now it's gonna need more than ever to hold your hair down because there's nothing else doing that job alongside it. You see, at first, the pomade would hold your hair down and then the durag will come right behind it just for that reassurance. But now there is no durag. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it, but that's what you get for right now. Does that make sense? You know what? Actually, go in the comment section right now and tell me if that explanation made sense. And if it didn't make sense, then I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'll go down in the comment section and reply to your comment, trying to explain it better. But I think that did make sense. I don't know. You tell me. down in the comment section. Tell me, did that make sense? Okay, so now let me give you a recommendation. My recommendation is that if you're trying to get waves without a do-rag, you should try to get 180 waves. If you don't know what 180 waves are, it's basically just having waves on the top of your head, but not on the sides and the back. Now, of course, you could try the other wave patterns too, like 360 waves, 540 waves, or 720 waves. But doing that without a do-rag is of course more of a challenge than doing 180 waves without a do-rag. Let me explain why. So when you're laying down to go to sleep and you have 180 waves, the only place that you really need to protect is the top of your head, right? But without the do-rag, you're not protecting it at all. Well, with 180 waves, that really isn't such a big problem because you're not sleeping in a handstand, right? So your odds are your head isn't touching the bed or the pillow directly from the top. Usually you're sleeping on your side or on your back. So, you know, the sides of your hair are getting messed up and the back of your hair is getting messed up. And if those sides and back are constantly getting messed up, there's no way that the 360 waves, 540 waves, or 720 waves are just gonna look nice. But the 180 waves, on the other hand, really aren't gonna be getting messed up. Unless, of course, you're like a wild sleeper and your pillows are gonna be ruffling all over the place. Then it might be messing up the top of your head. But, I mean, it's still gonna look a lot better than you trying to do 360 waves or something like that. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna make you leave a comment saying if that makes sense or not, because then I'm gonna get confused on, you know, the other topic versus this topic. If people are saying that makes sense, this doesn't make sense, like what makes sense and what doesn't, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope that cleared it up. So let me just reiterate that if you plan on getting waves without a do-rag, my recommendation is for you to try to get 180 waves. By all means, you can try 360 waves, but it's just not my recommendation. All right, before we go into the next step, I just need you to like the video right now. It takes 1 second. Honestly, you could have done it by now before I even finished this sentence. Seriously, I'm spending all this time to help you out. The least you can do is spend 1 second to help me out by pressing the like button. See, was it that bad? You did it, right? I'm just gonna assume that you did it, because if you didn't, then you're selfish. You're just selfish. But anyway, next step. Okay, so now you're thinking, how do I wash my hair without messing up my waves if I don't have a do-rag? And that's actually a pretty good question, because whenever somebody thinks of washing their waves, what do they think of? The wash and style method, right? And what does the wash and style method require? A do-rag. What you're supposed to do is, you know, wash your hair, and with the do-rag, with the shampoo still in your hair, you put the do-rag on. Then through the do-rag, you rinse out the shampoo, like through the do-rag. The problem with this method now is that you don't have a do-rag, or you're just not using a do-rag. So now you're asking yourself, well, how do I do this if I don't have a do-rag? Well, there's actually a pretty simple answer. Just wash your hair normally. Yeah, you heard me. Just wash it normally. So what exactly do I mean by wash it normally? Well, the same way that somebody with curls would wash their hair, somebody with, you know, braids. Well, you probably wouldn't be washing your hair with braids in, but you know what I mean. Put the shampoo in your hair and then rinse it out. Well, when you have the shampoo in your hair, still brush your hair, right? And then rinse it out. But my recommendation also changes with the way that you wash your hair. Don't scramble wash, okay? If you don't know what scramble washing is, it basically is just, you know, you just ruffle up your hair like this. Instead of, you know, washing it all wild and stuff, you see how my hands are moving? Only wash your hair with the direction of your hair. So if it's on the front, it goes forward. If it's on the side, it goes to the sides. If it's on the back, it goes backwards. You want to minimize the amount of times you basically move your hair in another direction other than its normal flow. Not just going backwards, but also to the sides if it's in an area that it's not supposed to go to the sides. Like I said at the beginning of this video, getting waves without a do-rag is more difficult than getting waves with a do-rag. However, it's not difficult in general. It's relatively difficult, but just not difficult altogether. I mean, if you think about it, everybody that you see that has some type of waves, not all of them have worn a do-rag before. And why am I saying this? Because if they've done it, then you should be able to do it too. And honestly, if you keep your motivation high and you stay dedicated and disciplined, hey, you will even end up with waves better than those people. You probably won't end up with better waves than people who actually wear durags, but you know, the other people that don't take waving serious, you're gonna be swimming on them. So if there's one thing you want to take away from this video, I'm just gonna put it in the simplest words that I can think of. Here it is. Are you ready? Okay. To get waves without a durag, all you have to do is just a regular wave routine. It's the exact same, well, not exact, but it's mostly the same as getting waves with a durag. The only difference is you take out the steps that involve durags. You know, all the way you brush your hair the same, all the products you use are the same, the way you wash your hair is the same. Just the steps that involve durags are just not there. That's really the only difference. I could have said this in like a 30-second video, but honestly, people are gonna be complaining, saying that I wasn't going into detail and they're still confused. And you know, the longer the video, the more kinks I work out of the method. So that way I don't have a million people commenting the same thing, and then I have to, you know, go ahead and explain it a million different times, because you know, nobody ever reads comments these days. They just leave their own comment. So to avoid me having to leave a bunch of comments, I just, you know, stretch out the explanation in a video. Wait. I know that kind of sounded like the video was over, but just stick around because I got one more thing to say that's very important. I hope you didn't leave already because you don't want to miss this one. Okay, for the people who didn't leave yet, this is also a very important step. If you're getting waves without a durag, please remember, you have to exaggerate everything. So basically, you need to go above and beyond for all of these steps. Well, except products probably. But, you know, most of the steps you need to go above and beyond. So for a regular waver who wears durags, they might brush their hair for 30 minutes a day. You, however, who doesn't plan on wearing a durag, should brush your hair more than they do. So if they brush 30 minutes a day, you should try 45 minutes or maybe an hour. I know it seems like a long time, but I mean, if you want the results, if you want really good results, then you should be willing to work for them. Don't expect to do the same amount of work as somebody who's using all of the possible opportunities, and I can't think of another word for it, but you know, don't expect those same results when you're doing the same amount of work and you don't have all the perks. You hear the rhymes? Does that make sense? You know, if I'm driving a car and my top speed is 100 miles per hour and I drive for 1 hour, don't expect for you to be driving a car and the top speed is 50 for you to drive for 1 hour and end up in the same exact spot. No, if I'm driving 1 hour going 100 miles per hour, you need to drive 2 hours going 50 miles per hour. This comparison probably makes no sense at all, but to me it makes sense. I just hope people out there can actually understand it. If you understood what I just said, go leave a comment down below saying understood. But now this is officially the end of this video because I can't think of anything else to talk about. If I left something out, make sure you leave a comment down below telling me exactly what you need me to clarify. And that is the end of this video. If they ask you who I am, I'm Wave Man Mike. So subscribe, drop a comment, and don't forget to like. Enjoy your day.